Use the Quiet-STAR method to get ChatGPT to think before responding. This is a new technique that will increase the intelligence of every AI you work with by asking it to think before it speaks. This is a lesson my mother shared with me many times as a child, so it makes sense that I want an AI to operate the same way. This is another way to increase the intelligence and quality of responses you get from any large language model, whether it's ChatGPT, Claude, or Mistral. In a previous video, I covered the master chain of thought technique, which significantly improved the responses from ChatGPT. If you haven't yet, definitely watch that video right here. In this video, I'm going to review the Quiet-STAR paper, show what Quiet-STAR looks like when I run it locally on my computer using LM Studio, share the Quiet-STAR technique that I've developed for ChatGPT so that you don't have to download a bunch of code or use an API to take advantage. And then I'm going to show you a new accelerated prompt built on top of master chain of thought, which we will now call the Quiet Master chain of thought. This is going to completely revolutionize how you get results from ChatGPT. And yes, I'm going to do all of it in ChatGPT 3.5. You can get ChatGPT 4 responses from ChatGPT 3.5 now. Let's get out of this intro and into the good stuff. Jonathan, fire up the music and start the intro video. Let's start by taking a look at the paper that was recently published on Cornell University's website about the Quiet-STAR technique called Language Models Can Teach Themselves to Think Before Speaking. I will always have a link to my sources below this video so you can read the paper for yourself. This is what the main page looks like. Let's access the PDF together. When writing and talking, people sometimes pause to think. Most of the time, this is what we should do. The core idea is that they want the AI to think and spend more time between hearing the input and giving the output. The idea is not just to pause, but to actively take an action and think about your response before saying it out loud and locking yourself into a response. They want the AI to actively think during that pause time, which means increasing the amount of tokens used, cycles used, electricity used. They want the AI doing something, even if it's not writing an answer yet. Based on their testing, they found that zero-shot improvements went from 5.9 to 10.9%. That's nearly doubling the effectiveness. And with common sense QA, they went from 36.3 to 47.2%. That's about an 11% boost in improvement, which at that range is almost 1/3 because 11 is almost 1/3 of 36. This method doesn't require any fine tuning. As part of their testing, they wanted to see how many tokens you want the AI to look ahead or use thinking. A token is 4 characters. They tried using increasing amounts of think ahead, ranging from a baseline all the way up to 24 and 12 tokens. And if the higher level got the best response, but you start to see a level of diminishing returns. So you don't need a massive amount of look ahead. What we're really looking at is a little bit. There are 3 main steps to Quiet-STAR. Number 1, parallel rational generation. Think about several things at the same time. Number 2 is mixing post-rational and base predictions. Imagine that before you meet me, you make an assumption based on my outfit. Then you hear me talk and you have a different opinion. Now you're going to mix those 2 opinions together. That's what everyone does. And finally, optimizing rationale generation, which means to take everything put together and optimize it to figure out which is the best version and to get the best responses. There are 2 things in here that are really important. The first is zero shot. There are 3 versions of this: zero shot, few shot, many shot. It just means examples. So this is zero shot performance or zero example performance on Quiet-STAR applied to chain of thought. Here's what's interesting. Quiet-STAR improves chain of thought. When I read this, challenge accepted. I want to replicate this result. In this video, I'm going to show you how to do that without needing all the complexities of this paper. We're just getting started. Let me show you what it looks like when I install Quiet-STAR locally on my computer. This is LM Studio. This is a piece of software that you can download for free and install open source LLMs, open source AI text generators on your computer. Depending upon the strength of your local system, you can run a larger range of models. Because I'm using an M1 Mac Mini, which does not have a graphics card, I can only run really small models. So my ability to test is limited. The cool thing about LM Studio is that it shows me which models work on my computer and which ones don't. It now has the ability to have 2 different LLMs running at the same time in parallel. If I grab a gaming PC, which I'll only use to run AI models, that's one of the cool things that I'll start implementing is more side-by-side tests of open source AI models. If that's something that interests you, please let me know in the comments below, because that will determine one of the directions of this channel. Most importantly, I already have a video explaining how this tool works and how you install it, which you can watch right here. I installed a model called Quiet-STAR 8 ahead 7B quantized underscore 0 GGUF. It doesn't matter. I installed the largest one I could find. It's using 7 GB of RAM. My system doesn't have a lot of RAM, so that's a significant usage. When I was running this model, it used over 100% of the CPU. So I turned it off and stopped it. It was still trying to generate just so I could give you this information and show you this result. You can see that it's trying to work. Start thought, start thought, start thought, start thought. And it says the word tongue and tunk a lot. Basically, the AI went completely crazy. This is because of however this is programmed, it's not there yet. This is not the actual model used in the paper, but this is the easiest version to install that I wanted to show you. Unfortunately, there's not a really easy way to quickly activate Quiet-STAR on your system with a tool like LM Studio. There's no other way to do it. If you want to install or use the actual Quiet-STAR from the paper, you're going to have to use Python, you're going to have to use GitHub, and I know you guys aren't interested in that. Let me show you a cooler way to do it. This is our original blog post about swimming. With a very simple prompt, please write a blog post about how to swim. What we get is a very simplistic article. I go over this in great deal in the Master Chain of Thought video. This is the baseline. It's not good enough. It's okay, but we need to get something better. We're now going to merge this with Quiet-STAR to see if we can get a better response. The idea behind Quiet-STAR is to get ChatGPT to think without actually working on the program and to keep it from faking. This is very important. If you just say to ChatGPT, think about your answer and tell me when you're ready, we don't know if it's actually doing any thinking. It can fake that response. So I need to ask it to tell me, what are you thinking about? This prompt is going to require a lot of variations, and I encourage you to play around with it. But the idea is the correct structure. Here's the core idea. Here's my goal. What should I think about? What are your thoughts? What's your reasoning behind them? I'm not asking ChatGPT to write the blog post. That's the critical part. I use the word thinking and thoughts multiple times to trigger Quiet-STAR. Now let's see what happens. When planning to craft a blog post about how to swim, it's important to consider several factors: audience, purpose, structure, content, visuals, engagement, accuracy, clarity and simplicity, call to action. Now, this is thinking about blog post structure, and I would get a similar response if I said to ChatGPT, how should I plan out my blog post? This is very, very similar to chain of thought, but with a slight tweak, we can use it to accelerate chain of thought. Let's look what happens when we turn this into a blog post. Based on these thoughts, please write a blog post about how to swim. This is where I want your opinion. Is this blog post better than the last one? Dive in, a beginner's guide to swimming. Welcome to the world of swimming. Whether you're dipping your toes in for the first time or looking to refine your strokes, swimming is a fantastic way to stay active, build strength, and enjoy in the water. In this beginner's guide, we'll cover everything you need to know to get started in your swimming journey, from basic techniques to essential safety tips. It's describing each step. Know your audience, getting started, basic techniques. It's not the structure it gave. So I'm not sure why it's doing that. Audience is there, but then getting started is not. So it's getting a little bit creative. The headings don't matter. Those are easy to clip out. The rest of the article is good. The first step in learning how to swim is getting comfortable in the water. Start by finding a shallow area where you can stand with your head above water. Take slow, deep breaths and gradually submerge yourself, allowing your body to acclimate to the sensation of buoyancy. This is really good. I actually think that is an amazing paragraph. I've taught all 4 of my kids how to swim. I like this approach. I can see how it would make an adult or child get comfortable with the water rather than just throwing them in the deep end. Overall, we have a slightly better article, but I would say it's not significantly better. And I'm not interested in teaching you techniques that aren't significantly better. Let's see what happens when we add Quiet-STAR to chain of thought. When we use the master prompt to write our swimming blog post, we use the prompt, I want to write a blog post about how to swim. What information do you need for me to get started? ChatGPT gives us 7 questions. Who's your target audience? What type of swimming? What do you want to cover? Techniques, safety tips? Are there any specific tips or insights? How long do you want the blog post to be? Do you have any particular tone and style? Are there any specific resources or references? We now want to try this exact same question, but adding in a step with Quiet-STAR. I want to write a blog post about how to swim. Think about the process of learning to swim and crafting a blog post. What are the most important thoughts in preparing for this task? Identify your audience, break down the process, safety first, provide clear instructions, encourage practice, address common challenges, celebrate progress, promote confidence. This is a different structure. I think this is very interesting. Even at this point, it's giving me a better outline than I've seen before. We're now going to merge this with the master prompt and say, write this blog post, what information you need from me. It now needs a lot less information. target audience, key points, personal experience, preferred tone and style, additional resources. We've gone from 7 questions down to 5, and there's a lot more explanation here. These questions are easier to answer than the first version. We now want to add in the chain of thought element. Chain of thought simply means get ChatGPT to answer its own questions. Let's look at these responses. What do you recommend for a target audience that will give our blog post the broadest appeal? Please explain your reasoning. We've now moved from Quiet-STAR into master prompt, and now we're into chain of thought. 3 steps in the process. Targeting your blog audience on a blog post and learning to swim will maximize its appeal. Let's talk about inclusivity, different skill levels, expanding reach, encouraging interest in swimming, versatility in content. Let's go look at our baseline and compare. Here's our original response. Large audience, universal interest, foundation building, engagement potential, longevity. So I ask you this critical question. Is this better? Or did adding in Quiet-STAR, adding in a prompt of thinking, improve the response when we go Quiet-STAR, master prompt, chain of thought? Let me know in the comments below, because this is very subjective. It's easy for me to say that I prefer the version that has Quiet-STAR. I wrote it, so I might be putting my thumb on the scale with my personal opinion. If I'm wrong, please let me know. Maybe Quiet-STAR isn't quite working or my prompt isn't good enough yet. That's important to hear. Your feedback means a lot to me. Even if it's a little bit mean, I can take it. It's now time for the ultimate test. Does adding Quiet-STAR to the master chain of thought prompt lead to a significant improvement in the quality of the response, and the time of the response, and in the final output? Let's do a side-by-side comparison. We have the exact prompt I ran in the previous video on the right-hand side of the screen. On the left-hand side of the screen, we're adding in one prompt at the beginning, the Quiet-STAR prompt. I want to write a blog post about how to swim. Think about the process. It gives me its answer. We're going to scroll down, and now we are running the same prompts side by side. On the left-hand side of the screen, we have Quiet-STAR. On the right-hand side of the screen, we have master chain of thought without Quiet-STAR. Research and gather information, define your audience, outline the blog post, create visual aids, craft engaging headlines and subheadings. The way these are written is different. With Quiet-STAR, the sentences are longer, but there are less total bullet points. We have lists for the sections as opposed to breaking the sections down into bullet points below. Is that better or worse? Too close to call. As much as I want to say that I've cracked open a revolution with Quiet-STAR and that I've been able to replicate the results that the scientists claim they got by adding Quiet-STAR to chain of thought, I'm not sure yet. Let me know in the comments below if I'm on the right track, or if you think these are exactly equal in value, or do you think it's better without Quiet-STAR? Our next prompt is, please complete your research for this blog post and share with me. Let's compare our 2 types of results. We have the exact same thing. Longer responses on the left, more bullet points on the right. Importance of learning to swim, health benefits, beginner challenges, effective teaching methods, safety guidelines. The details about safety precautions are much more detailed in the right-hand version. But what do you think? Overall, which of these is the better outline? You get to compare them side by side. I think they're both good. Our next prompt is, please define the audience and goals that are most likely to give this article the widest appeal. With Quiet-STAR, we get adult beginners, parents teaching children, seniors learning to swim. With our original version, we have beginners, novice swimmers, parents, fitness enthusiasts, and recreational swimmers. So the question I ask you is, are fitness enthusiasts and recreational swimmers more interesting, or seniors learning how to swim? The seniors learning how to swim that's very interesting to me. That's something new. It's hard to weight these 2 things. Let's look at the goals: increase awareness, provide practical guidance, promote confidence, encourage continued learning, and highlight benefits, or educate, empower, inspire, promote safety, and encourage practice. When I'm running a test like this, and neither response is bad, it's hard to pick a winner. Please outline the blog post, taking into account everything in this conversation. Dive into swimming, comprehensive guide beginners versus dive into learning, a beginner's guide to swimming. ChatGPT is always using the same subject. Neither of these is a winner. That's a wash. Let's look at the hook. Engaging readers with benefits and excitement of swimming versus start with a compelling statistic or anecdote about the importance of swimming. This is a much better instruction on the left. This is the first time I'm noticing something that's significantly different. If I say to you, engage readers with the benefits and excitement of swimming, that's a very hard action for you to take if you're not a copywriter. I'm not giving you a very good instruction. It's very broad. Write something exciting. Hard instruction. It's the same advice people used to give me when I was younger, and they would say, be yourself. I don't know what that means. More advice, please. Start with a compelling statistic or anecdote is a little better because it gives you two options, statistic and anecdote. I like that. The next, introduce the importance of swimming or introduce the topic, boring, preview what the readers will learn. That's the same. The aims of swimming for water, safety, health, overall well-being, define the target audience, emphasize inclusivity. I don't like starting an article by defining the target audience. That's really boring. Are you a beginning swimmer? Are you an adult swimmer? Are you a senior swimmer? That's a boring way to go. I like the structure on the left a little more, but let's go and write the introduction and see who comes up with the better hook to start this blog post. Based on this outline, please write an attention-grabbing introduction to hook the readers. Here's our original version. Do you feel the irresistible allure of the water calling out to you? Picture yourself gliding effortlessly through crystal clear depths, weightless and free. Swimming isn't just a skill, it's a gateway to a world of adventure, relaxation, and boundless possibility. Now, let's see what Quiet-STAR has for us. Do you know that feeling of weightlessness as you glide through the water propelled by nothing but your own strength and determination? Or the rush of exhilaration as you conquer your fear and dive headfirst into the unknown depths? Swimming isn't just a skill, it's a journey of discovery, a gateway to freedom, and a vital tool for survival. There are some things happening with Quiet-STAR that I don't like. I hate picture this. These longer questions are a little bit more obvious. It's all questions. We go question mark, sentence. We only have one question mark on the right-hand version, but it's shorter. I would love to know what you think about which of these is a more well-written article. And I want to point out something really important. We are not comparing Quiet-STAR to Chain of Thought. We're comparing Quiet-STAR to Master Chain of Thought. Master Chain of Thought already significantly improves the chain of thought prompting technique. The question is, does adding Quiet-STAR to that technique give us a significant difference? That's the question we're trying to answer in this video, and I want your opinions. Is it worth adding one extra step to every single prompting conversation to get a slightly better result? And did we get a slightly better result? Thank you for watching this video on the Quiet-STAR technique. I love that scientists are pushing the envelope with ideas, but they struggle to turn their ideas into practical use. The only way to truly test the Quiet-STAR version from the paper is to install a ton of code using Python and GitHub. And something tells me that most of you don't think it's worth all that hard effort just to test a new prompting technique, and I don't either. I'm always looking for techniques to improve the responses I get from AI and keep me cutting edge. I already improved the chain of thought technique by combining it with my master prompt. I don't see Quiet-STAR making enough of a difference to my results that it's worth adding another prompt to my workflows. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you thought the results were stellar. Let me know in the comments if you like this new method. The paper focused on comparing Chain of Thought vanilla and adding Quiet-STAR plus Chain of Thought to improve the response quality. Unfortunately, most of their tests are word math problems and logic puzzles. None of us use those for our jobs, so the tests don't mean as much as real-world results. I already showed the flaws in Chain of Thought vanilla in my previous video, and I believe that adding Quiet-STAR still leaves the door open for catastrophe. This method doesn't remove the garbage in, garbage out danger. I think we've already got a better version of this prompt that accomplishes the same thing, so I don't think we need Quiet-STAR right now. The master Chain of Thought is still the top prompt in my books. This is just the beginning. I have even more really cool new prompt methods coming your way. If you found this video entertaining, educational, or at least interesting, please hit the like button. This is a smaller channel, and that means a click here is way more significant. You have the power to change the future of this channel, and your input helps me to determine what types of videos to make in the future. I pay a lot of attention to what you respond to, and that determines if I make videos about image generation, consistent characters, AI video, or my super prompting techniques. When you hit that like button, more people see the video, and that helps the channel to grow. We just passed 1,000 subscribers last month, and I want to hit 2,000 this month. So please consider hitting the subscribe button. This will put more videos from me into your feed. And if you hit that bell, you'll get notified every single time I post a video. Thank you for making it all the way to the end, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching one of my videos. Hit the like button, and then I've got a couple of sweet videos that I think you're going to like. I've got one here and another one over here. You're gonna love them.